Hi, Mr. Bailey. My name is Shanique Yates with AfroTech. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I first have to say that it is an honor to chat with you today. Um, before we get started, I just have to tell you because my nana, she would like fuss at me if I didn't. But her very first concert ever in life was an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. In my hometown of Virginia. So I'm getting some cool granddaughter points here today. So thank you for taking the time out to chat with me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so actually, let's hop right in. And I really want to know, when did you first realize that you had a love and a gift for music?
Well, there was never a time that I wasn't enamored with music. My mom said I was singing before I was talking. And I've always been uh, led by music and uh, fascinated by it, understood it instinctively. And I didn't know. It took The surprise for me was that everyone around me did not have that definitive direction that I always have had. I just figured everybody was just on their path and everybody knew, and they are, they no, everybody don't. Because my mother used to say to me, "What, where'd you get that song that I was singing?" And she said, I said, I hear it in my head, don't you? I'm thinking, everybody hears the same thing. But yeah, I was kind of tuned into another radio station, all my life.
That's so cool. And can you recall your first paid music gig and how you spent that check?
It was funny because, we were playing gigs. It wasn't a check. We were playing gigs. I was actually not young enough. I was younger than I should have been playing in clubs and stuff. Um, but I remember whatever they gave us that night for our pay. I said, "Oh, you get paid for it too?" I I was so green. I had it. I was like, man, this is a lot of. This is just. I'm just having fun. But yeah, it's and I kind of still feel that way. It's like I'm sitting at the piano now. I spend most of my leisure time doing something in music, studying this, that, and the other. I'm studying jazz piano now and stuff. But I played bass as when I was a kid in junior high school, and I've always played drums. I was always singing in the choir. Always had bands and quartets and all that kind of stuff. So it's been music and nothing else.
I love that. And fast forward to Earth, Wind, and Fire and being immersed in the music business, were you met with any challenges when it came to adjusting to fame or managing your money or just being in this new world with doing something, getting paid to do something that you love?
Well, you have to understand too that there wasn't any social media and all that stuff, and uh, for us in our coming up, I was never really enamored with because I'm from Denver and I wasn't raised in California or New York or whatever, so I really wasn't caught up in uh, the bling or the fame or the fame or the fortune of music. I was just caught up in the art and the passion and the passion for making music and in chasing that dream, that instinct. um the I was fortunate and blessed to have been able to have a lot of success beyond my wildest dreams, and it's taken me places that I could have never dreamt. um but of course, there's still real life. There's still life that goes on, and fortunately, God has protected me, through you know, my, craziness, and I haven't, had any kind of uh, catastrophic events that have happened in my life.
I love that. And I kind of mentioned just being introduced to your music from my Nana and my Gaga. And with your music has always been rooted in messages of love, and I have a really good friend who was like, no, like, are you listening to what they're saying? And so when one really listens to the messages, is about waking people up to life and raising their consciousness. Were there any challenges there with doing something of that nature in such a cutthroat industry, and making sure that, you know, yes, like we're grooving and moving, but that people are really, really hearing and resonating with the words that you all have sung over the years?
Well, Maurice, the founder and the architect of the band, he always used to say that he wanted to have a band that rendered a service to humanity, and so for that reason, um, we chose to write the way we did. I'm a co-writer on many of the songs throughout our life, um, and but we wanted to uplift our people. You have to you understand that, coming out through the Maurice was a little older than us, 10 years older than myself, and the black experience in America, uh, you, has been, challenging and a deep struggle. And he was from Memphis, Tennessee, and so saw and experienced a lot of stuff. And then later on in Chicago, so he was trying to make music uh, typical of what Curtis Mayfield did in Chicago. Um, he was a freedom fighter with his music, but Maurice chose to not necessarily be um, as direct in certain ways like uh, Curtis Mayfield was, but wanted to just speak to humanity as a whole and uplift the consciousness of uh, people, everywhere with the music. So, that's the reason why he chose to incorporate all the different genres of music that we have in there: jazz, R&B, the Latin experience, gospel, classical, everything. It's kind of was kind of a gumbo soup of music made commercial. And so we used to always say, there's something in there for everybody.
Speaking of consciousness, we're living in a time where people are leaning on artificial intelligence to make music. I wanted to know your thoughts on AI generated music and the times that we're living in right now.
Well, it's moving so fast. The times that we're living in are moving so fast, and um, it's. I think back to when everybody started sampling, and the record industry had not. They didn't had not made provisions for uh, compensation for those for sampling, because it wasn't anything that it was new. It wasn't anything that anybody had seen before. And I think AI is the very same thing. It's like no one could have uh, would have thought that, okay, um, AI can copy your sound, your likeness, and put out something that sounds just like you. And okay, so how are we compensating this to the person that they're copying? It's moving so fast, and it's pretty fascinating. So we're all kind of looking to see, okay, where this is going. But I think that it's way out ahead of us, and we got to catch up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just to shift gears here, because beyond just the music, you also have a cause that is near and dear to your heart, which is the Music is Unity program geared toward foster children who have aged out of the system or are beginning to age out of the system. Can you walk me through your inspiration to launch this 14 years ago?
Oh yeah, it's been yeah about 14 or 15 years ago we started this foundation called Music is Unity to benefit foster youth who are aging out of the system, and really about 400,000 kids in foster care age out every single year, and they're just in many cases they're just kicked out into the world with no help and no support. So a portion of our proceeds, our ticket proceeds, go to Music is Unity, and then we fund uh, organizations who are in agencies who are providing the daily needs and necessities for foster youth who find themselves in situations and out there by no fault of their own, and so that's what we've committed to do. And we also do a thing that we call our backstage sound check program when we're on the road, and introduce we invite foster youth to our sound check, and we introduce them to all the different facets of uh, our touring entourage, in hopes of our costume designers, lighting directors, and um, just everybody that truckers and everybody. And so they get a chance to see, okay, how a tour actually moves and what it takes to actually put on, on stage shows. Then they stay with us and watch the show, and then if they have any questions. But it's a fun event. So we're going to do that again this year. We stopped it during COVID, and there's a young man named Darion who's a Drion, who is a former foster youth. He has a band, and he's a very talented writer, singer, and his band is going to open several of the cities that we are going to be playing this year, and so that's uh, part of what our backstage sound check program does.
Yeah, and working with Drion, it has to be not only full circle for him, but I'm sure that's a full circle moment for you as well. What has been the most rewarding experience about this? Because, you kind of alluded to it earlier, just about music being this universal language and being this um, art form that connects us all. It doesn't matter where you come from, and now you're using it to do such good things in the world. How does that make you feel?
Well, Drion, it's exciting for him to be able to tell his story of survival and of uh, you know the victorious uh, uh, courage, to continue to his pursuits, and now watching him on stage and getting a chance to hear now, the success story is very exciting and inspiring for other foster youth who are looking on. So hopefully, it can be a bridge for someone else who's looking on and needs that hope and that encouragement.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is amazing, what you all are doing. And also, I wanted to know, just because we're talking about bringing on, the youth and allowing them to see what all goes into touring, can you talk to me a little bit, like as an artist, what has been the most beneficial or rewarding experience about your journey with touring over the years?
Well, it's wonderful to get a chance to do something that you love doing, and um, make people happy, um, change the trajectory of some people's lives. We have stories of from people that we meet all over the world of the inspiration that they've gotten from uh, Earth, Wind, and Fire's music or lyrics, and or visiting a concert, and how it's helped them to to get from one place to the other. So that's exciting to make to see that yes, your contributions to society has made a difference and a positive difference.
Yes, and I can definitely agree and be a testament to one of those people because Earth, Wind, and Fire is a part of my meditation in the morning. Um, Especially Shining Star. Just to like have good vibes and just that energy and know like you can just go out into the world and do anything. And so I would be remiss if I left and didn't ask this question. But I did just want to know before I let you go, it's I want to know, can you explain what happened on the 21st night of September? I've always wanted to know. I've like done research. I'm like, okay, so like that's the International Day of Peace. Like is that related? I've always wanted to know like if you can share.
Well, unfortunately, it's no great secret. It just sounded good, and when we write, it was his writing lyrics, Maurice and Allie Willis, and it just rolled off the tongue, and there wasn't anything that they didn't challenge it. So now some people will say, I think that Maurice's son's Maurice's son's mom would say that it was has something to do with his conception and stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that all of that, but as far as Maurice is telling has told the world and told me is it didn't have any particular uh, significance to him as he was writing the lyrics.
Okay, well, thank you because I was like, I couldn't let you leave without asking. So, thank you so much, Mr. Bailey. And again, I think what you're doing with music is unity, and backstage sound check is just amazing. And um, I just thank you for taking the time out to chat with us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.